It's never easy to end a relationship, especially if it's with someone who you thought was your forever person. But sometimes we have to move on from toxic partners for our own sanity. If you're in a toxic relationship, it can be hard to see the signs, but there are usually some signs that it's time to let go. It can be difficult to admit that you're in a toxic relationship, but it's important to be honest with yourself and recognize the signs so that you can make a change. Here are some ways to tell if your relationship is toxic. You feel like you're walking on eggshells all the time. You're always worried about what you say or do, and you feel like you can't be yourself. You're constantly arguing and fighting. It's not healthy to constantly be at each other's throats. You don't trust each other. If there's no trust, there's no foundation for a healthy relationship. You never have any fun anymore. If all you ever do is fight and argue, that's not a good sign. You're always exhausted. A toxic relationship can take a lot out of you emotionally and mentally, leaving you feeling drained. If any of these sound familiar, it's time to take a step back and reassess your relationship. These are not normal or healthy behaviors in a relationship, and they will only lead to more pain in the future if they continue unchecked. So if you're in a toxic relationship, don't be afraid to reach out for help so that you can get out of it and move on to something healthier. If you're in a relationship with someone who is toxic, it can be difficult to know what to do. The first step is to recognize the signs of a toxic partner. If your partner is constantly putting you down, making you feel bad about yourself, or making you feel like you're not good enough, then they may be toxic. If you're in a relationship with a toxic partner, the best thing you can do is to get out of it. It's important to remember that you deserve to be treated with respect and love. If your partner can't give you that, then they're not worth your time or energy. If you've already left a toxic relationship, there are a few things you can do to help yourself heal. First, it's important to forgive yourself for being in the situation. It's not your fault that your partner was toxic. Second, reach out to your friends and family for support. They can help you through this tough time. Also, don't be afraid to seek professional help if you need it. I know that breaking up with someone you love can be difficult. It takes a lot of self-discipline, and it requires setting aside your feelings so that you can focus on the reason why you made up your mind to leave. Even if they're a toxic partner, it's hard to keep your feelings in check. I know it seems hard to let go, but note that these types of situations aren't just difficult for you, they're tough for everyone. In the deepest parts of your mind, a small part will always nudge you to stay. It'll try to convince you that this person might change at some point in the future. And as much as I don't want that hope to be in vain, I must tell you the truth. The toxicity of a partner that has been there for years doesn't change overnight, and it can take a long time before they do. Even after the toxicity goes away, some of it still remains behind. Toxic partners might try to pretend they've changed or really try their best to do so, but even if this is the case, it won't leave them completely. If you're okay with settling for what comes your way no matter what and you wish for nothing more, then I'm not sure if you would be happier with anything else. You deserve more than that. You are valuable and worth being treated with care. It's the Holy Spirit who can change someone. But even then, for that to happen, the person must be willing to change. Toxic relationships would completely drain you until you got to the point where you no longer had the will to survive again. Losing faith in love can happen when you really care about someone, but it doesn't work out and they hurt you. Try to remember that there is somebody out there better suited for you. When love is strong enough, then the person will give you up if it's what's best for you. But if you never had any control over the relationship from the start, then it wasn't meant to be yours. A toxic relationship isn't God's plan for your life. You deserve to be happy, especially if you're in a toxic relationship. One of the reasons you need to ditch a toxic person is because they're holding you back from personal growth. I believe that you desire to do better, so be everything you can be and everything God has called you to be. But the baggage provided by a toxic relationship will keep you stagnant and stop you from coming forward. A toxic partner will make you feel like you're not enough. They'll insult your work and make you feel as if everything that you've done is irrelevant. The mind works the best when it's hearing a lot of good things on an everyday basis. If you have a partner who praises you for even the smallest accomplishments, then that's someone worth your time. It's important to know that you're making a difference, and not just in the world, but also to yourself. When you feel happy with what you're doing, it pushes you to become better at it. You can do this because they want you to be happy and know that they have a relationship with someone who is on their level. They should make an effort so that you never need doubt your work or them. A toxic partner will constantly blame you for everything, and eventually, you start believing that you're not good enough to be happy or successful. It's not healthy. The power of positive thinking grows to incredible levels when you cultivate self-love, embrace vulnerability, and believe you're awesome. You cannot grow if you don't respect your own feelings, and that what you have to say matters just as much as anyone else's opinion. A healthy relationship is one in which partners allow each other to grow. There's room for unspoken communication and a lot of debate. Choose a partner who is committed to challenging you and feels the same way about being challenged as they do feeling validated. Couples who are in an abusive relationship may not be able to articulate the abuse they are enduring. If you're afraid that your partner is committing acts of physical or emotional abuse, it is important to get out and get help. Don't forget that they won't always need to break your arm before it can be classified as an abusive relationship. You can also be abused emotionally, and that is more harmful than the physical abuse. If you're in a toxic relationship, then it's time to escape from the abusive one. Many people have died, and some continue to suffer abuse. If you plan on taking this relationship to the next level, then you should reconsider your decision. You can't control someone. You will eventually get frustrated and bitter. You owe it to yourself and your future children to have a partner who will show them love and make them feel safe. A partner who will help them become the person they want to be, not the person you're forcing them to be. Your children deserve that kind of a parent, and so do you. You need to find a way to move on from this toxic relationship, because I'm sure your kids don't want their future with you to be like it is now. You need a home where they can see you stand up for yourself so that they too can develop self-esteem. If you don't correct your mistakes now, they'll affect not just you, but also the children in your life. Even nice people sometimes mistreat the people they love the most. You need to know that it's not only men who abuse their partners, some women do it too. Chances are it's best to be single than to be in a bad relationship. We all fear being alone, which is why most of us end up in toxic relationships. This space in our hearts wishes it had someone there, because we feel that the only way to be worthy, valuable, and important is when we are with another person. It's terrifying being alone when this world has so many new challenges every day. This person's controlling behavior has made you lose sight of the harm that this relationship is doing to you. I know that there is a tiny voice telling you that this relationship is not right, but you still choose to stay. Your reason is because you don't want to be alone. Beloved, you are never really alone because God is always with you. You feel alone because you've given up the space for God to be alive in your heart. And this is why the human treats you the way he wants and you still stay. It's better to be on your own than to be with somebody that takes away peace from your life and gives you sorrow. Too often people think they're stuck in situations that aren't making them happy because they don't think others will love them if they leave. But there are millions of people who are only waiting for the opportunity to love you. Simply take a chance and let yourself be loved. Leaving is not the worst thing that can happen to you with someone. Being with someone and feeling entirely alone is. It's important to have time to oneself so you can meet those people who will love every part of what makes up you. When you're alone in life, you still get to experience God and allow him to show you what it really means to love. I know that you want something better and you can have it. But first, be willing to let go of the baggage in your life to make room for the good things that are coming. It's time to break away from a dissatisfying relationship. A toxic relationship is only good for the person who chooses to be toxic, because it's a one-way street that only drains you of your energy. You'll become hopeless, worthless, depressed, and rejected. That's not who you are. Your reality is that you're unique, special, and deserve respect. You have something special that the world needs to see. It's what makes you amazing and different. You deserve to be with someone who encourages you to bring out the best in yourself and to enjoy life. Don't let fear hold you back. Someone will come along who can meet you halfway, as long as you don't stop looking for them. There are 1,000 people who will show you love. Anyone who makes you feel less of a person is not worth your time or attention. It's hard to move on, but you can do it. You deserve more, and it's time to prove that to yourself. Let go of that toxic relationship and find the beautiful partner who is waiting for you out there. If you don't know, then you can never know. But if you try hard enough, then you could find out. The truth is, you do deserve better, and you are good enough. Here are some tips to help you move on from a toxic relationship. 1. Acknowledge the pain. It's okay to hurt. In fact, it's necessary to hurt in order to heal. Acknowledge the pain you're feeling and allow yourself to grieve the loss of the relationship. 2. Forgive yourself. You didn't do anything wrong. The toxicity was not your fault. Forgive yourself for any role you may have played in the toxicity, and let go of any guilt or shame you may be feeling. 3. Set boundaries with your ex. If your ex is trying to stay in contact with you, or if they keep showing up uninvited, it's time to set some boundaries. Let them know firmly and clearly that you don't want them in your life anymore and that they need to respect your wishes. 4. Lean on your support system. Now is the time to lean on your friends and family for support. They can be a great source of comfort and strength during this difficult time. 5. Seek professional help. If you're struggling to cope with the aftermath of the toxic relationship, don't be afraid to seek professional help. A therapist can help you work through your emotions and start to rebuild your life. Breaking up is never easy, but it's important to remember that you deserve better. You deserve to be in a healthy, loving relationship where you feel valued and respected. Don't settle for anything less. Conclusion: if you're in a toxic relationship, it's important to realize that you don't have to stay there. There are plenty of other people out there who would love to be in a healthy, loving relationship with you. So don't waste your time on someone who doesn't appreciate you. Move on and find someone who will treat you the way you deserve to be treated.